Hey, Lena and Cheshire Wolf. Where you been, Miss Lena? I haven't seen you, I don't think, since your last stream. Hey, Linda. I figured I'd do the hard part of this before we start. At least I remembered to turn my music off today. Came in here earlier and kind of started playing around with the commission that I've got. I've got bad mental attitudes when it comes to doing stuff I have to do. Isn't that awful? And it's not like there's a huge deadline or any pressure. Or like, I'm going to waste some paper. R238. What is that little color? Oh, we're going to find out. Find out, because that one may get moved. Hi, CB. Well, yeah, that kind of stuff is putting chemicals into your body. Lena. New carpet and, all that junk. I'm looking up something since I'm early. What did I say it was? 238. Gamboge. All right, you can go right back in there then. I think we're in pretty good shape. Lena can probably buy these for next to nothing. They were in there so tight. And now I can't get them in there. Those are going to turn over. Okay. See? See? I told ya. Get logged in on my phone. Volume down. Boy, y'all carrying on a big old chat. Oh, that's not my feed. That's the end of Debbie's. Oh, you gotta love it. All right. How about my feed? Can we do that? Come on now, load up. You got plenty of signal. Excuse me for making all those drinky noises. All right, there's my feed. Make sure I got everybody. Gosh, I have, knock on wood, never had a migraine. My mother used to get them. And then through, I don't know, a whole bunch of hormone treatment stuff, she quit having them. Thank goodness I didn't ever get them. Yesterday, while I was looking for something else, I found these, and I had not unwrapped them. I'm still early. Well, my creative mojo has had a bad attitude lately. I know, Carol, isn't that awful? I know what part of my problem is. If I just get this damn studio finished, but I get it partially done and then do a live and it's all upside down again. Has anybody seen Vaughn lately? I haven't seen her all weekend or all week now that it's Thursday. Hope she's okay. Yo, sideways. Are you in the bed looking at us sideways? We're just waiting for a little bit of time to lapse so we can get going. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer to unwrap these pans. I'll get asked this question 100 more times, but these are Rembrandts. And they came with a red sable brush. Size 6. That's a nice brush. In fact, I think we'll use it. Put my other one away. Well, it'd be nice if I could find it. I'll probably put it in here. There it is. Put it away. Weather's kind of the end of winter icky here. It's 47 or so, but it's gray and everything's dead. Well, Joycey, I've never known you to like spice. I also last week got some India ink in a fine liner, a fine tip. Might use some of that today. That gets hot here because 75 here gets, well, hell, you're in Oklahoma. Shit, you know. Sorry. Humidity goes up. But that maybe you see it a little better. Well, we're a quiet bunch. I thought you were in Oklahoma, Carol. Or CB. God, I can't stand Texas. I think it's probably old age drugs. I'm so sensitive to heat that my blood pressure goes up and my ears pound and I run for the air conditioning. San Antonio, boy, you get the humidity and the heat. We get some of that, but it's not consistent. You get more consistent stuff. That makes you drink beer and margaritas. I'm looking at Jane Blundell's rating on the Rembrandt watercolors. I love their pastels, soft pastels. They are the workhorse in my pastel collection. Don't you just love it when somebody like Jane does all the heavy lifting? Yeah, the babies are home. Matter Lake Deep. I don't think it's in this kit. Oh, there, alizarin crimson is not recommended. That's interesting. Why in this day and time do they even bother to put fugitive colors out? And there's too many other substitutes that are okay. All right, that's all that she shows. Are we getting close? Oh, yeah, it's 401. Okie doke. I was looking for something else and I found these and I had not unwrapped them. So obviously they came in when I was working on that encaustic commission and I wasn't thinking about much else. Natural hair, so I'm going to let that soak. How did they get those bent down so much with the pans out? It was the paper. Duh. Okay. These may end up getting little bitty magnets. I bought some little tiny magnets to go on the back of my watercolor pan storage system. And somehow or another got two sets of 100. So I've got plenty. I need to get back into that. I'd like to have company while I do it, but it's kind of confusing what I did, so I don't need any help getting sidetracked. This is a nice brush. All right, this little card came with it, so I just quickly marked it off into, and I'm going to turn it because I goofed up on that color. Here we go. 2, 3. Put an India ink line down. Here's your cool yellow. Your warm yellow. Gamboge, which I'm surprised she doesn't say anything about that being a bad color. Usually they say new gamboge. This is a mixture, so maybe it's okay. Well, I mean, we know it's okay. But, well, they wet easy, too. And here's yellow deep, it looks like. We go into cat orange. These little color swatches sure help. They don't teach you anything about mixing color, but sure is easy when you're painting not to have to guess around. There's your, I don't know what that is. It looks like Cad Red Light. Yeah, because it's a little bit opaque. And these are your warmer reds. This is a cooler red. Have no clue what it is. Looks to be either Carmine or the alizarin. It's got that blue cast. And they wet real nice. This is their set of 12. That looks like Thorngo Violet. Or maybe magenta. It's probably closer to magenta. Here's your purple. This is a blue purple. It's really pretty. It's either cobalt or ultramarine. This one feels a little bit more like cobalt. Yeah. There. This looks like a cerulean. But when I started out, I didn't think I would ever figure all the color names out. But I finally did. That might be indigo. I guess I could look them up and then label my. And we go into greens. I usually don't have greens on my palette. And with that many yellows and blues, you could mix most of these. But it's nice sometimes to have the convenience mix. That's why I like Primas. That looks like Viridian. It's also real thin, so. Come on now. No bark. Baby girl is still in training, and now she's got to learn not to bark in the house. Yeah, it's cute when they're a puppy. She's over a year old, so she's not a puppy anymore. That looks kind of like a sap. Now we go into the earth tones. This is probably yellow ochre. It is because it's partially a little bit opaque. If it were raw sienna, it would be transparent. And this, I mean, yeah, raw. No. Raw sienna and yellow ochre, the ochre is opaque. I'll get it right in a minute. And that would be burnt sienna. No, I said that wrong. I also don't keep this. These are the umbers. So there's raw. Umbers make beautiful mixes. And Payne's Gray or Indigo. I think Payne's Gray. It's leaning toward the blues. Baloo. Hit Baloo. Pencil. I just need a plain old pencil. Okay. Here's number 2. All right, let's go back and look. And they're marked on the tins. Let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back and look at Rembrandt. And there it is. Nope, that's not it. 12. Wait a minute, I have 24. 24. I'm looking on Jerry's. I didn't find it easy. I'll be with you. Just talk among yourselves. Okay. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. They're showing me everything but Rembrandt. Okay, so go to Rembrandt. Rembrandt. Well, poopy doop. 12. I could have had this prepared, couldn't I? Nah. I love Rembrandt oils too. I'm going to give up here in about 2 seconds. Bada bing, bada boom. There it is. They don't give me the color numbers. How much can you buy a 24 set, Lena? There we go. Okay, I found it. Let me check with y'all, make sure somebody doesn't have their hair on fire. Hey, Beck. All right, I caught up where I was. What's your observation, Beth? And Dick Blick has them for 158. That's a big difference. Okay. So this is, I better, Cad Yellow Lemon, Cad Yellow Light, Cad Yellow Deep. No. 24, Cad Yellow Light, Cad Yellow Deep. That isn't going to work because it's not. That one's Gamboge. That's Cad Yellow Deep. Okay, well, there you go. Nice colors, huh? I'll have to figure that out. They got Gamboge down with yellow ochre. So anyway, each of these pans are numbered, so I'm not too worried about it. So there's the Rembrandt colors. Any questions? Gosh, why, Lena? It's right there in the Dutch land. Hey, Lena, is what's going on with Brexit this week good for your parsing? I don't know whether the people want to keep it or give it away. I mean, Beth, I can, but I don't think so. I'm not in the mood. How's that for an answer? This is something that I saw the other day, and I thought, oh, cool. It's where you draw a picture on the Duralar and then turn it over and just put odd colors on the back. You can see your drawing. And they used watercolor because it was UPO. But the Duralar would not take plain watercolor. So I came back in with Derwent Inktense pencils and drew them on and then carefully wet them to get sort of a smooth effect. But watercolor won't work on this. So I'm just doing a quick see what this does. And I've got my colors right here. Now, the point to this exercise, let me get the picture up and I'll show you. Here's my picture. Tree has some character. I'm not much of a tree person, but we're going to take a crack at it. And I think I'm just going to use colored pencil because they're handy. That tree has an umber feel to it. It's a real cool brown. I'll pull some colors here. Grand experiment. That's my cord showing. Okay, so we've got, and I'm going to go real light on the areas that are in shadow. Trees can be anything you want them to be. Which is probably why I have trouble with them, because I'm a realist. And they're kind of hard to do realist. I need a real light. Okay, so the point to this is leaving some of these colors from the back to show through. Just every once in a while, just leave some of that color. That's more of the lighter color. Same thing. I need to get in a routine again. I'm kind of just floating around. And therefore not getting anything done. All right, that one's not doing us any good. Maybe, baby, I've got eyes for you. All right. I've got to order, when I get out of buying timeout, I need to order some graphics, drafting film. Because that is the this is student quality, Duralar is student quality. Sometimes these things make my ADD kick in. Now, if somebody else had already refined this and showed a step-by-step, man, I'd be all over it. I'm just painting shapes that are on the tree. And we have another. First branch is there, so this is below that. Okay, let me see what the questions are. Nope, nothing there. I painted, I did green, I did complements of green. The sky might even just be left, so we'll see what happens. I would have liked some light purples, but I didn't have them in Derwent. So there you go. Let's work a little more on this tree. I know some master artists who practically don't paint anything else but trees. I never really been able to go there. Dog, dog. Durlar only seems to take a few layers of colored pencil, which makes it not quite optimum. Get a few more of these blocked in. And then we'll see where we are. I didn't do the best drawing in the world either. That's par for my course. Now, if I would just stay on colored pencil for, a few weeks, neat. We've got to jump around. Okay, now I'm going to go into some greens. That ought to be easier. Color's not going down real good. Let me flip over and get the darkest. My idea is blocking it in, and then if you like it, you can go back and add detail. And by scribbling like this, I'm allowing some of that background to show. Or it could be like my experience with colored pencil the other day and just end up being a big bad nothing. Wish I could show y'all what that might make it a little bit more interesting. Come on. My turn. These things get kind of ticky sometimes. One reason I wanted to get into here was that I could see where the light spaces on the trunks were. On the trunk. Don't you dare. Yeah, I know I can lock it, but and of course you can see I'm not exactly right because it doesn't really matter. This doesn't suit with my work aesthetic. I don't think this suits me. This must be a phthalo I picked up. I'd rather have a purple. You lock the picture in your settings. I forget how to get to it. It always pops up when you don't want it to. Where am I? Well, poop. They always pop up when you don't want them to. There they are. Up from the bottom. This little thing right here. It shows a lock and then a circle, so that means rotate. Don't forget to unrotate it, because you'll forget it the next time you go in, and you'll play hell trying to figure out what's wrong. Okay, let me see. Okay, so Carol, you're seeing my reference photo. Trying to catch up. Did that make sense, CB? But it's not doing it on my iPad. Who knows? Ooh, happy mail, Branson. Okay. There's another big green blob up there. This is why I can't stay with anything art-wise very long. They'll try it and I go, yeah. Oh, no, almost fell on the floor. I'm afraid to oil paint. Maybe I've lost that. The ability to sit. Hope not. I need somebody to do it and then say, okay, I tried it 15 times and this is what I found works the best. And then just some blue. Yuck. I did this the other day too, didn't I? Blech. If I could find that picture easy, I would show you my best tree. I saw it yesterday when I was looking for trees. Okay, don't like it. Let me see if I can find a tree easy. Easy peasy. Oh, here's the sample I saw. Done in all watercolor. Because they took a little more time with it and had some real dark darks. Come on. This is my pastel tray. It's clear on my computer, but it's fuzzy here, which means that we're spinning. These are source pictures and photos. Oh, look at that. That's how little I used to be. Probably 110 pounds. Jeez. There. See what it looks like on here. Gosh, y'all are lagging. On the one I just showed you, Joycey, I'll hold it. Hi, Katrina. Hadn't come up yet. There it is. This is in pastel. Anyway. All right. I don't mind going back to that at all, and you might be able to track it down on. I'm coming back to you, I promise. Here. Low Country Sunshine is the name of it. Watercolor on Yupo. Big lag today. Tell me when it comes up for you. I'm looking at it on my... Let's turn it this way. Come on. There. There we go. The colors are off a little, it looks like. So, Low Country Sunshine. And then this was the back of the translucent Yupo. Hey, Sophia. I don't know because the Durlar wouldn't hold it. I've got a piece of Yupo right here. Have you got the picture? Whoever needed it? Joyce? I'm not moving until Joyce says go. Got it. Okay, good. There's these little test pieces of Yupo. Heavy, translucent. Let's get those high dollar. Well, at least I can do is put it on a picture that I did. Let's put that on her while we're... I have to fix this. Don't tell Kimberly that I lost the brush. And the way things have been going around here, I won't find it. There it is. It does. And this is the translucent. I mean, it's not like paper, because it doesn't have anything to stick to. Love the way these wet. And the little beating up I got right here is probably from finger grease. Now here's the Duralar. So Duralar makes a wet media. I'm not sure if it's translucent. All right, does anybody have any questions? 503. We're just doing next to nothing here. Yeah, so it does, it's pretty cool. Dry it. Now, in theory, we should be able to come back That thing is, I've already had my winter's hibernation. You know what, though? I'm not getting as much show through as she did. Maybe she was using a thinner Yupo. Well, gosh darn. That didn't look good. I guess that's why we're not supposed to copy other people. Photos. I don't want that. Here's what hers. Well, okay, that's looking at the back because it's flipped. And there's looking at the front. So all this blue, she said, was from the reverse side. And we didn't get any at all. So there must be another Yupo, unless this is transparent Yupo. That could be translucent. And that's what this is. Okay. All right, we tried that. Is it oh, it would be the same finish. Heavy. I've only got those 3 sitting here. Put that back up there and I'll use it again. So watercolor on the Duralar is me. And I'm going to see what happens if I work on this gal. I don't like my Derwents because I don't have very many colors. And this is hot press paper. I'm not sure how many layers you can get. I may be there. Big lags. Worked so hard to get that green in there. It's underpainting and now don't like it. So I think I'll just get high on some acetone. I ran across a colored pencil class the other day online. I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. $12,000. That's not interesting. I need to drink water. Yeah, this was translucent, Carol. Or CB. Translucent. Of course, I put, I watercolored on UPO forever. Being in the graphics business, it was used for offset printing on menus and stuff like that long time ago. Yeah, really, Lena. Besides that, I didn't like the way she critiqued. You need to do this and you need to do that. And maybe people want that, but I prefer critiquing because I love what you did here. This is great. Now, here's something to look at. Let me show you this, and you might decide you want to change your piece or not. Adding some paint kind of seems to be helping. Like I said, I'm just not a real good experimenter. I think I'm home alone. I don't hear anybody in there. I don't think colored pencils are going to be on my favorites list. I prefer stuff that takes. I don't like coloring either. I don't like coloring books. I like doodling, Shannon Green style doodling. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with coloring at all. No, you have to buy your own supplies. Somebody wrote in this with this thing I was watching and said that the supply list was way more than her budget could hold, and I wanted to see what it was, but I couldn't get far enough. Yeah, really. Come to my house and sharpen my pencils for me. Trying to blend some of these real hard edges. Katrina, if you really want to learn how to paint, talk to Lena. She's taken my class. That's what I teach. But I don't teach you by showing you how to make a picture. I teach you by showing you what the theory is and how to make your own paintings. I don't want you to be dependent on a project that I do. I want you to know how to do your own work on your own. It's all about form and value and color, knowing how to mix color. And those are tools that are valuable in any kind of art that you do. And I think I broke all the rules in this one. I won't be doing that Grisey method in colored pencil anymore. I love it in oil. I've done it in pastel, but me? Oh, Lena, yeah. I don't know if she's done enough of it yet to. Of course, I put her on the spot. She may not think it's worth anything. And Lena's the one that talked me into selling it without the kit, because so many of you guys already know what artist quality is. And that's my only caveat, is that you have to have artist quality. But ranked beginners sometimes do well just having the stuff delivered to their door. And have it included. They don't have to worry about what going to the store or finding the stuff on different sites. And, some people want the convenience. And because of that change, I am doing a new sales sheet to see if that explains things any better. Now, I'm not going to get rid of that green look until I get rid of that in her hair. Let's see. Red neutralizes that. You have to let me know, Lena, or my feelers will get worried. Those are the basics that you need for any kind of painting. And I didn't get them till I was 15 years into trying to paint. Everybody kept saying, well, go back to the basics. You don't understand. My teachers didn't teach basics. I don't know what they are. Send me a direct message, Katrina, if you want me to tell you about it. Ooh, what a bust this is. I have spent about all the time on it. It's not in my mojo. Nothing has been this week. Don't tell Kim. That's just going to make that greener. I'm also, besides being a realist, I'm a colorist, which means I just like to use a lot of color. Fancy name. It's a fancy New York name for. I guess she doesn't have to be a platinum blonde, does she? Yeah, and it's hard for me to show what I've really been trained at because it's a lot of this back and forth stuff, and you'd be so bored you wouldn't want to stick with it. And I don't teach mixed media, or I don't introduce you to mixed media. I introduce you after the basics. I introduce you to oils, and don't give me that crap about being sensitive to oils, okay? Because the way I teach it is not sensitive. And there's nothing in oil to make you sensitive. It's linseed oil, which is a variation of a household cooking oil, and pigment. There's nothing in it to make you allergic. But if you are, I would go to a water mixable oil first because it's real oil. I mean, it's real paint and real oil. The Genesis is fine. It's a separate art medium. It's not one of the traditional mediums. So, I mean, anyway, and I can see why Vaughn likes it, but she's using Gamsol to thin it down and her brushes, which is a solvent. That's all I use. Little bitty bit. Okay, so oil and then um, soft pastels. And again, don't tell me you can't. Encaustic. The reason I do that is because encaustic is one of the oldest art mediums in the world. And then last but not least is watercolor. And I put it last because in my opinion it's the hardest. And then in theory, then you've been exposed to the main mediums or media, and you can make decisions on your own which one you want to explore further. Just kind of looking a little bit better, maybe. She just looks so hard. Might as well get all the pencils out, huh? Nope. Nothing's going to cover India ink. There she is, looking better looking at her on the screen. Let me type it in. My email is all over the place. And the other, I have a landing page that has all of my social media and some gallery stuff. You may have to copy and paste those links. Okay, what can I use? I know what can I use. I got this Faber-Castell India ink white. In the Art Snacks subscription box. That helps a little. Let's see if I can get rid of some of this. Color pencils are really just like anything else. You've got to learn what they do and what they want. And so far, I haven't done the time. I wasn't sure whether the pencils would just scrape the India ink off or if it would use it as a lightener. I've done it, Joycey. I get it every month. I've been in the plan since I think they came out. Last month, though, they didn't have, the value wasn't more than retail. Now, if you're going to pay $20, $25 for a mail order subscription, you want $30 worth of stuff. I so want an organized studio. Can anybody tell me what the main shape on a face is? Lena, have you gotten that far yet? I got grandfathered in at $20, Joycey. I think they're at 25 now. Okay, nobody said anything about what they think the overall shape of a face is. I'll give you a hint. Nope. I'm sorry. I should have said the components that make up the face. It's a circle. And if you learn how to do a ball, a circle turns into a ball, and how to make it do that, there's a circle here, eye socket, another one. Here, there's one here, here, here. The muzzle is another one right here. Lips, 1, 2, 3. Every month, yes, rejoice, Joycey. Cheeks are another circle. Chin is a separate circle. Hey, Shauna. You want to see some of the paintings I've done? Nah, I don't want that. I wish we could get a better look. That's not too bad right there. This is an oil. We have a new, well, in the last 5 years, museum in Bentonville. Alice Walton put it in, and it's, oh my God, it's fabulous. So I did a series of, this is me looking at that painting. And this is somebody else looking at someone who's doing a trial sketch. These are oils. Ooh, yeah, that's about a 30-second lag. There we go. There's a big 19th century collection that's my favorite. She specialized the collection on American art. Gosh, it's a long leg. I hadn't had one this bad. Hey, Button. Good Lord. Joycey, it's forever. Oh, thank you, Shauna. This was what I was trained to do. Well, I mean, along with everything else, but what I love to do is portraits. And this is granddaughter. Her nickname is Two. I've got two of them done. I've got one done, and I've number one and number two done. And there's been 3, 4, and 5 since I did this one. This one is pastel. It's done in Salzburg, Austria, in a painting group that we were with. Thanks, Shauna. This is encaustic. This is with tinted hot wax. Yeah, I know YouTube. We're teaching here. I've done an oil painting live. Gosh, it's about, golly, I don't know. It's 5 or 6 videos. I mean, you'd die if you had to watch that all the time. I mean, all the way through. Another encaustic. This is a favorite of mine. Still life is not the easiest thing for me to do. If I could have somebody set it up for me, I'd be better off. Thanks, Button. Another encaustic. This one is actually got some surface molding on it so that the fat of her butt you can feel as it goes down into her flank. And there's another thing you can feel right there in her shoulder blade. Excuse me. Tickling. Thanks, CB. We don't have any galleries here. And this was trying to paint more of an illustration style. So this is in a journal. Collage and a face. This is encaustic. And the beads are 3-dimensional and glued on. There's another illustration. This is encaustic. This is a ball. Don't ask me why I did a ball. It looks about the size of a bowling ball. And I cut star-shaped areas in there and then put white encaustic in it. I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it, but here's another illustration style. That's encaustic. But again, if you know the basics and you know what makes a form, then translating that into any medium you want to work in becomes easy. And you saw that one already. That was when I got some old wallpaper and I was practicing painting on the wallpaper. I flipped back and forth between all of them. This is when I was starting to do some more watercolor. I did Tisha Moore's class one year. Another watercolor. I think that's acrylic. Watercolor. 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 Acrylic. Watercolor. Watercolor. That one's sold. These were all watercolor. I showed you guys these one time in person. I need to go back in and do some alterations on the nose, but that's silver point. I've showed you that before. That's where you draw with a silver wire. That's silver point. You can see how it shines, it tarnishes as it ages, just like silverware does. That one's not so good, but you gotta do not so good ones to get good ones. Acrylic. Oh, this was done on wallpaper again. It was kind of, see that paisley thing? It's kind of a seafoam green with some white printed on it that acted as a resist. Pastel. These are all the watercolors I did when I was in between my first and second surgery. I just pick something up and paint it. Go through, and this is oil. I've got the video. This is the one I videoed a lot of my work process on. It's in my channel. I just open up the internet and find a picture and paint it. Watercolor. This one is acrylic. I got to get that one back from Canvas Corp. They seem to have, quote, lost it. Here's another group of little ones I did. That one's awful. And this is one that I did with Canvas Corp materials. It's using their paper, and then I did a whole bunch of stuff, mixed media, and then put a pastel cow on it. It ended up being sold in their garage sale for $1. I about came unglued. That one's better of that one. This is acrylic. Can't tell you how I did it. I've tried to do it again and can't. Watercolor. These were using some primas. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to pick up a color and go with it without worrying about mixing it. Yeah, I mean, that's a little one. I think she's, business card size. There's another one. Look at those beautiful colors back there. That one's acrylic. Watercolor. Silver point. Watercolor. That one's not a very good. I've painted this girl 3 or 4 times and I have yet to do a good rendering of her. Watercolor. 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 This was painting on the Prima paper, and it's not cotton. And this little rim that you get around it is one of the things that cotton paper is known. I mean, cellulose paper is known for in the way that the pigment dries on the paper. Watercolor, watercolor. I did these apples. I tried to do one live for you guys, and it didn't really work that well. I did these without drawing. I just wanted to see if I could do it. For example, I would do this shape right here and then connect it somewhere like here and do the next shape, leaving this pretty much open. So all I did was go around and painted shapes. It didn't matter if it was out of drawing or not, because, I mean, nobody knows what a bag of apples looks like. And if I had taken a little more time, I could have gotten a better rendering of the letters. Y'all bored yet? This one almost looks real. I like that one. And this is one in the bag. It's Sam's in the box, the big box. Watercolor. Watercolor. Hate flowers. That one's good. Look how I goofed. And it looks like he's squeezing his horn in the middle. Very much out of drawing. Watercolor. 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 I was sitting in my chair trying to recuperate. That one's a cute one. I use a lot of vintage 20s photos. Here's the little one in the orange. Okay, that's it in that gallery. That's about a tenth of them. Thanks, Sophia. You're talking about me. Yeah, Sophia, and the good thing was that I'm in we call ourselves the Northwest Arkansas Creatives. It's with Shannon Green and Becky Harrison, and I think the only other name you'd know is Rosemary Morris. And Becky was the one that got it. She said, I had to bring this to you. I wanted to give it back to you. And I said, well, what? I mean, what's the story? And she told me that she bought it for $1 and she wanted to give it back to me. Well, I wasn't going to take it back. I mean, she went so far as to get it and try to bring it back to me. So she got I don't know, $150 retail painting. I don't remember what size it is. Let's see what else. I'll show you some more. I don't care. If you're having fun, I'm having fun. Sometimes it's just kind of scary how much I have done. Some of these are the same. I've got to update this too. Doodles. Oh, this is when Canvas Corp came out with this special mixed media paper. And it reminds me of suede text. It's kind of a medium card weight, it's not slick. And they print designs on it in black and grayscale. So all you have to do is come in and put some color on it. And my cow was one of these pieces. And I made a book with using their papers. Let's see if I've got any more in here like that. And then I doodled. I haven't gotten any doodles yet. There's a half one. This is this. Now I can do this kind of doodling. That doesn't bother me. I don't know where those are. I need to show you those sometime. This is one of their papers. And I just started picking out parts and doodling on it. I mean, you don't even think. You just pick a line in there and do something in that section. Then I did some dropped colors of, may have been 20, Tattered Angel spray, and then doodled on top of that. That's all in there. This may have some different ones. No, not really. She's a little cutie. That's in oil. Yeah, Randy went to a meeting, so I'll get to my chair. This was the one I told you about the other day, the pastel that's um, it's in the Pan Pastel Gallery. I'll let y'all go in a minute. Not yet, but in a minute. This is fun. We need to do this someday. This is done on Aquaboard, AQUABORD by, um, shoot, the name escaped me. Begins with an A. But the paper it's not paper, it's a clay coating on a board. You can erase it back to white just like you can with Yupo. That's fun. Oh, here's some different ones. It's watercolor. That's watercolor. It's real heavy watercolor. This is pastel, soft pastel. This is oil. This is oil. Oil. I love runnies, drips and runnies. Soft pastel. Oil. I think that's the soft pastel. I did it in soft pastel and oil. And that's the other one. I don't know which is which. This is the pastel one. I can tell by looking at the signature. And this one was in a show, in an international show I was juried into. I think there were 2,000 entries and there were 120 or so picked to go on show. This one was in the Ventana Gallery on Canyon Road in Santa Fe for a month. The owner almost bought it. That would have really been a feather in my cap. This one's oil. There's the little girl. Oil. Oil. Here's the trompe l'oeil of the parrot tulips. These are painted on. They're not, the tape is painted. The clips are painted and the top of my easel is painted and so is the board behind it. I love doing this kind of stuff. This one's oil. This was from Prague. Oil. 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 Soft pastel on top of a watercolor background. Oil. This is one of the biggest. I did two of these. The biggest, I think they're 20, 20, but they're 36, so maybe 18 by 36 because they're an odd shape. Here's the other one. This one's one of my favorites. This is an oil. I've had quite a bit of practice with hair, so this painting is about hair. Oil, 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 oil. This is one of my favorites. This is oil. My niece and nephew, and my brother's a photographer. So he took this picture, and a split second later, he caught them reversed with goofy looks on their faces. And I've got that over there halfway finished because they look so serious here, but I want that goofy one to go with it. This is either oil or pastel. This is another one that I did it both ways, just as a challenge. This is pastel. I said I didn't like flowers. Those turned out pretty good. This is oil, Randy's mother's hands. Oil. This is pastel. I showed you this a couple weeks ago. Pastel on top of a watercolor background. This is pastel. 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 This would be the oil. No, this would be the pastel. See how the marks are made. It's pretty good if you can't tell them apart. And there's that one again, and that one again, and that one again, and that one again. I think that's it. All right. That's enough for today, I'm sure. Bye, Branson. Hey, that's a big deal button. I hate doing it. I like Joyce's being our timekeeper here. Yeah, I'm tired. Hour and a half to 2 hours is about all I have time for. You're welcome, CB. Hey, Gail, we're just fixing to close up shop. I got tons of stuff that I could show you. I've got stacks of paintings up on top of my shelf that are just laying there waiting for what? I don't know. Maybe for me to die, and then they'd be worth something. Okay. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping. And I'm going to get my mojo back. Or you can look at the rerun. Thanks, Lena. Thanks, everybody. I enjoy you guys. And I will get back in my groove here one of these days. Soon. Bye. Over and out.